Oh, okay. So we are live. Um, um, yep. I think we are. Hmm. Yeah. Good morning. Hello. I just woke up at 7:10. I just couldn't sleep last night. So many ideas flowing through my mind, and I could not. I slept at around, I would say, 2, 2:30, 3 as a coach, and then yeah, since I scheduled this already, had to. I had to wake up. Not that I didn't want to, but then, of course. Hi, good morning, Kriti. We are restarting this. Okay, so there's a lot to be said, told, deciphered here. Just this I mean, yeah, this is the channel, this is me, Nisha, and once in a blue moon I just come and show my face and leave for eternity. But now I do plan to stay. I mean, of course, I come and promise to be consistent, and like they say, promises are meant to be broken or whatever. I just break those promises. But this time, we are hoping to undo the entire thing, because this time I'm here not because I want to be or whatever, but this time I'm here because of Peso Ki Kami. And if you know, if you can, if you can guess who this person is, Peso Ki Kami, if you can relate to this quotation, then you have good taste. And if you can't, then it's your problem. Thank you, Kirti. Thank you. No, I mean, as a cultural studies person, I shouldn't be talking about taste or all. But yeah, पैसों की कमी. Just imagine me saying this with his face and his voice on. I'm here because of पैसों की कमी. Uh, and I think we can, like, money is the biggest motivator, they say. So I think we can carry on with this. So I'll tell you the goal. The goal is to get my first check from YouTube. Now, of course, my channel is monetized. I have something around $21 in my, like, the revenue collected, everything. But this is being very honest. Yeah, $21 it is. And but it takes around $100, they say, for you to receive your first check, or howsoever you receive it. It can be in your account, so it need not be a check thing. But yeah, you get my point. So I'm saying my goal is to get my first check that way from YouTube by 22nd of September this year. What's on 22nd September, you ask? My birthday, bitches. Birthday it is. So yeah, that's the goal, and we'll be working towards it. I'll be continuously updating you with how much money is there in my YouTube or whatever the account that they have the. So, so yeah. Uh, okay, so it's 7:35 now. The plan today is to read. We'll be doing this live for 2 hours. 2 hours. Oh, the yeah. Sorry, 2 hours. I have to finish. I have two articles in my mind that I need to finish. I don't think I will be able to finish. So this is one by Ranajit Guha called Chandra's death. I'll talk about it too. But yeah, this is a 16-page thing, and I believe I'll be able to finish it in 2 hours. What we'll do, we'll follow the Pomodoro, whatever that is called, technique, where we'll be starting for 25 minutes and 5 minutes we can interact. So if you have some question, you can pose, or you want to talk about something, we can talk about that. Or maybe I can actually give you a summary of whatever I'm reading right now, so I can talk to you about, okay, so how can this person say this or whatever. We can do like 5 minutes for that. Or I also need to order milk, so maybe I can do my Instamart. in some 5 minutes that we will get. I thought I'll be waking up to good chai, but then we don't have milk at home. So, yeah, I need to order milk. How are you? How are you? Tell me, how are you? Mm. How do you? How was your morning? And do you have to say anything? I'm surprised how I am so energetic right now. Very dramatic. I'm being very dramatic right now in this drama. I mean, yeah, I mean, if you want to see where this stems from, here is it. What drama? What drama? I have to continuously tell myself to not be this dramatic, but then I am dramatic. I am, and I acknowledge, embrace it. I'm dramatic. Can you see me? I don't think I'm going to be a part of this live for 2 hours because right now I'm going to university and my classes. Of course, no, you. Oh, this is just. I mean, this is not for you. This is for me. I have to tell myself that I need to sit here for 2 hours and finish this. This is not for you. No, no. You can mind your business. There can be 0% watching this, but yeah, I am just. Yeah, now I'm watching myself. Oh, this is is this? You should have told me. Do I need to keep my phone like this? I guess. Yeah, this is how I need to keep my phone. Because I'm watching myself on my laptop. See. Yeah, I showed you my laptop. See? Yeah. Such narcissism. Okay, so it's about to be 40 now, 7:40. We'll begin at 7:40. So this article by Guha. Okay, so I'm working on a scandal and I was just trying to figure out how people read scandals. So I read Tanika Sarkar's this one uh, chapter that she writes in Hindu Wife, Hindu Nation, where she talks about the murder, the death of the murder of this one woman who is said to be having an affair, who was said to be having an affair with a Purohit in the colonial 19th century Bengal, and the husband killed her. So this one scandal became a huge thing there, and she gives you okay, sorry. Tanika Sarkar gives you a very historical account. Guha is also giving you a very historical account. Both of them are historians, so they are doing their job. But I need to see how can I use a scandal from culture studies perspective. But yeah, this is for my secondary or like the theoretical framework that I'm supposed to be using. We'll see about it. So I'll start the Pomodoro thing. The Pomodoro Pomo. First, yeah. Oh, it started now. Yup. Okay. So, stay calm. Do you want me to play some music? I should play some music, yeah? I can play the Spotify. Spotify. I can play. What do you say? Study music. Study music. And. Hmm? play? I doubt. Okay, no. So I need to turn this thing off now. Yeah, now I can play some peaceful piano. Login. I'm logging into my Spotify. I these little things. Okay, so there we go. Let's study. Join me into this. You also sit down with whatever you have to study, and we'll study together. Watch me studying. See how focused I am. And try to be as focused. Yeah? Let's go. I'm unable to focus. I just can't. I mean, I thought I'll be able to study on live, but then I'm like, the people watching me. But these things seem very private. Of course, how you read, how you sit while reading, this is so private. Sometimes I feel, how do people read in libraries? But then I have also been in libraries, but people focus on themselves in libraries. They're not really all looking watching you. Sometimes I do watch other people, but then that's a different thing, I guess. We know nothing of them except that they must have occurred. Yet, the very fact that they occurred in whatever unspecified ways would justify yet another intervention. A return to the terminal points, the shift, the only visible sites of legal and dictatorial intentionality in order to desecrate them by naming the material once again and textualizing it for a new purpose. That purpose is to reclaim the document for history. Here is to quote it in extenso. Hmm. Mark of invocation, a dose at, and I made a paste of the drug, draw again at dawn, and administered it to Chandra. That did nothing to destroy the fetus. The next day, when I went again, okay, so to give you, oh yeah, I should not be. I should be reading right now. Yeah, I'll give you the details of the scandal. In the next five, I mean, whatever the 5 minutes break that we'll get because this Pomodoro thing, I have 18 minutes more left. That didn't nothing to destroy the fetus. The next day when I went again to the same Kali Bagdi together with my mother and Chandra, he gave us an herbal medicine that has to be taken thrice a day. Joitin Pan, together with some Horituki, a wildflower of medicinal value, and 2 tablets of Bakor Guli, a preparation of herb and rice used to induce abortion, diluted in lime water. On 12 Choitro, Choitro is a month, okay? In Hindi calendar, Choitra, I think it's January only. Choitra Boshak. Yeah, I think that's the idea. I prepared a paste of the medicine with my own hands. I administered 1 dose of it to Chandra at a quarter past the second prohar of the night. Then, at about a quarter past the second prohar, the fetus was destroyed and I fell to the ground. My mother picked up the bloody fetus with some straw and threw it away. Even after that, the pain in Chandra's belly continued to increase, and she died when it was still 4 or 5 dondos left of the. Again, do they have the notes page? Yep, they have the notes page. Good. I hate it when they don't have the notes page. I hate it again when actually they use end notes rather than footnotes, because then you have to actually flip pages to go back to those end notes to read what they are talking about. But I think MLA doesn't allow you to use footnotes. पता नहीं. Zonos is the measure of time equivalent roughly to 24 minutes. So that expression could have an hour and a half to 2 before dawn. The expression second dawn. Chaitra is 12th month of the Bengali. Okay, it's not the first, it's the 12th, corresponding to the second half of March and first half of April. Okay, I was wrong. Anyway. Chandra's corpse was then buried next near the river's bend by my brother-in-law and my mother's brother Hodila. I administered the medicine in the belief that it would terminate her pregnancy and didn't realize it would kill her. When the other defendants are arrested on the basis of this disposition, Bhagavati Chasin, mother of the deceased Chandra, Bhagavati is the name. In Bengali, it's Bhagavati. Whatever. Yeah, Chasin, mother of the deceased Chandra, also got a disposition written for her on the same lines as Bindra's and alleged further. Towards the end of the last Phagun, Magaram Chasha came to my village and said, I have been involved for the last 4 or 5 months in an illicit love affair, Asnai, with your daughter Chandra Chasani, as a result of which she has conceived. Bring her to your own house and arrange for some medicine to be administered to her, or else I'll put her into bake. He had not. Okay, 6th. The habit of a person belonging to the Vaishnav sect. Okay, okay. 2 days after after that, I sent my daughter Bindra and my sister's daughter Rango Chashani to Bhabanipur to fetch Chandra. The same day they returned to Majgram with Chandra Chashani at about a prohar after nightfall, and Rangu said to Chandra's mother-in-law, Srimati, and husband's sister's husband, Magaram Chacha, have given them a brass pot and a bell metal bowl in order to pay for the arrangement to procure the drugs required for an abortion. And Kalicharan Vavadi defendant said in his deposition, it was still some 5 or 7 days to go before the end of the month of Fagun in the current year when I was at my vegetable plot on the bank of the river one day. Rangu Chashani approached me there at appropriately the second Londo of the day and said, "Please call at my house. Would you do so? I shall tell you all that I have to say." The following day, I went to the house of Bongshi Bagdi of Majgram, but failing to meet Rangu Chashani there, I was going back home when I happened to meet Bhagavati Chashani, who said, "My daughter Chandra is in the third month of pregnancy. Please let her use a drug to terminate the pregnancy, and we shall give you a pot and a bowl." I did not agree to her request. The following day, I was at my vegetable plot when 1.5 dondo of the day, the said Bhagavati Chashni came to me with an elderly peasant of the village Simla, whatever how they pronounce it. Bhagavati's son's father-in-law, but I don't know his name. Bhagavati said, "Please give us a medicine to destroy the fetus. We shall pay for it in cash if required." Since I didn't have the drug for abortion with me that day, I told Bhagavati, "Please meet me here at this vegetable plot tomorrow and collect the medicine. Your son's father-in-law need not take the trouble to call again." The next day, I was at my village plot when the said Bhagavati came to me at noon with her daughter Chandra Chashini, and I asked for the price of the medicine on the understanding that Bhagavati's son's father-in-law would pay it in cash. As promised the previous day, the deceased Chandra offered me 1 paisa, a copper coin valued at 1/64th part of a rupee. I accepted that paisa, and after asking them to take their seat as the vegetable plot, I'll tell you the entire story in 11 minutes. 10 minutes. I was one to reclaim this document for history. I think that is the central question. The ordinary apparatus of historiography has little help to offer us here. Designed for big events and institutions, it is most at ease when made to operate on those larger phenomena that visibly strike out of the debris of the past. As a result, historical scholarship has developed through recursive practice, a tradition that tends to ignore the small drama and fine details of social existence, especially at its lower depths. A critical historiography can make up for this lacuna by bending closer to the ground in order to pick up the traces of a subaltern life in its passage through time. However, that is not easy. That is not easy. However, that is no easy task, as it is made so painfully obvious by the material before us. The difficulty doesn't arise from its want of authenticity. On the contrary, both the prose and the presentation of the document speak of it as genuine testimony to the event described. Written rustic Bengali, some of which has inevitably lost its flavor in translation. It abounds in spelling errors. Characteristically, too, it has no punctuation and paragraphing, like those introduced by us in the English rendings. It begins with a mark of invocation and the invocation that combined the customary sign Anji, resembling the Bengali numeral 7, rubbed by a crescent.
If Butta Bomma makes you break into a dance, if you keep singing, he's so cute all day, and if you introduce yourself as Mr. Majnu,
Spotify ad. Tatsuki Kami, you see. It begins with a mark of invocation that combines the customary sign Anji, resembling the Bengali numeral 7 capped by a crescent. पता नहीं कैसा होता है. And the, I mean, yeah, and the horrific word Shri, duplicated for effect with the name of the deity, Hori. After this, taken together with an awkward mixture of country idiom and Persianized phrases borrowed from the language of the court speaks unmistakably of this writing as the work of a village scribe drafted in the service of the local law enforcing agents. As such, it is witness to the force of the disciplinary trust made by the colonial regime into Indian rulers' society by the middle of the 19th century. But with all its authenticity, this document still fails to satisfy an important condition required for the normal practice of historiography. It is the condition of contextuality. But unless his material relates to context, it is difficult for the historian to know what to do with it. This is particularly true of narrative material that makes sense only if it connects with what goes before and comes after it. That is why an urge for plenitude constitutes the driving force behind much of historical research, an unsatiated, indeed insatiable urge for more and more linkage to work into the torn fabric of the past and restore it to an ideal called the full story. It is therefore frustrating that for that urge to come up against the phenomena of fragmentation that Maverick, which breaks into Cleo's state from time to time, stalls a plot in its drive to a denouement and scatters its parts. Our specimen is one. A specimen is one such untamed fragment. As the lost beginning of its first sentence and the missing end of the last so clearly testify. And another known context, it is come down to us simply as the residuum of a dismembered past. It would help if we could find a way of neutralizing the effects of deconstructualization by situating this fragment in a series. For the principles according to which series is constructed in the search for a context. That search is made all the more difficult by the mediation of the law. Each of these statements in this document is direct speech, but it is speech prompted by the requirement of an official investigation into what is presumed to be a murder. Murder is a point at which history intersects with crime, says Foucault. Site of that intersection is, according to him, the narrative of crime. Murder is a crime. What is the point at which history intersects with crime? Murder is the point at which history intersects with crime, says Foucault. And the site of that intersection is, according to him, the narrative of crime. Hi. Okay. So, yeah, we can now talk. We'll talk for 5 minutes. This is a Pomodoro break. Yep. Okay. So, Ranajit Guha has written this Chandra's death on this one scandal, or like, yeah, the murder case of Chandra Chashini. She is a widow who has been impregnated. Of course, like she it seems her brother-in-law had an affair with her, and now that she's pregnant, the brother-in-law asks the parents of the mother of Chandra to take Chandra to her house and get her go through an abortion. Of course, like it's a 13th century, I think. Yeah. When was this? The text was discovered. Oh, no. Sorry. Okay. Uh, 1849. 1849, yeah, 19th century. Yeah, so what happens is, yeah, what happens, yeah, but what happens is and he gives them some, I mean, bowl and copper pot, as in like in as the money that you would need to get her through the medication. So yeah, but so she does get an abortion, but then she dies in the whole process. Chandra dies. So there is this murder case now. There is a legal case, and these people have to appear. There's a court case going on. So the documents that Ranajit Guha has managed to get are from the court case. So yeah, there's a court case, and there are a series of documents that they need. But also there is an editor who has serialized it all together for yeah, sociological purpose, like their whatever would be their motivation. Yeah. So Guha is now saying, with like, in this text is in between these two authorities, what the authority of the law and the authority of the editor, who separated it from other items into an archive. How does history reclaim these this one, like this whole incident, as a text, and the text or the writings or the documents that are available in between these two authorities? Good morning. Good morning, Avinay Kumar. How are you? This is the text that we're reading right now. For now, Guha is basically talking about the problems that comes with historicizing. Can history claim this? That is, I think, the central question. How to reclaim the document for history? How can one to reclaim the whole incident of Chandra's death and the court case, everything that goes around it. Uh, for history, but he says that the historiographic project, like usually history, has to do with some big event. Yeah, how was the king, like the lives of kings and yeah, all these people. So subaltern studies, because Guha's project is the subaltern studies project. Yeah, he gives birth to some extent. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, but what is here going on? He's trying to produce a history of from the fragments, as in from the outskirts of history. So, can we write a history? Basically, he's asking, can we write a history without the main by if we exclude the entire narrative of colonialism and also elite nationalism uh, from history, can we write a history of the subaltern? This is his entire premise of the whole yeah the whole the premise of the whole uh, essay, Chandra's death. Yeah, I hope you understood the scandal. A woman is dead. A woman who was a widow has been impregnated by the brother-in-law, you know, and has been asked to go through an abortion. In the process of the abortion, she dies. There's a court case. There's a social case as well going on. So how do you? Yeah. One interesting line here by Foucault: murder is a point at which history intersects with crime. I think yeah, history was going fine, but then there happens a murder. So there's a site of intersection where crime intervenes with history. I think Tanika Sakar also talks about this to some extent, where she's like, scandal is a thing that breaks the everyday as in the course of history. You know? It breaks the everyday, um, but doesn't really change it much. You know? It's like a break, but soon things come back to their place. But that one break is what they are trying to understand. You know? Through those breaks, things things begin to take shape. Things that we usually take for granted suddenly appear to us, and in a magnified way. And it's then that people start to realize the everyday. You know, I think I'm making sense. I think I'm making sense. Okay, let's start the next session. See you in 25 minutes. Okay, I need to order milk though. How are you? What are you reading? Tell me. Murder is a point at which history intersects with crime, says Foucault. And the site of this intersection is, according to him, the narrative of crime. The discourse of the broadsheet, in which this genre is represented in its most popular and accessible form, has as its function to change the scale in large proportions, make the minuscule grain of history visible. Yeah, this is what I was saying. Make the minuscule grain of history visible. Crime, murder, scandal makes the minuscule grain of history grander and visible. Yeah, and enlarge the proportions. Yeah, and open up for the quotidian its access to the narrative. It is indeed in this way that such narratives are able to play a role in the exchange between the familiar and the remarkable, between the quotidian and the historic, the everyday and the remarkable, the familiar and the remarkable, the usual and the grand, because history has to do with the grand thing, like that way, you know. The common murder trivialized by the tolerance. No, no, no. The common murder that is trivialized by the tolerance all cultures have of cruelty, uses precisely this discourse as its vehicle to cross the uncertain frontier that separates it from the nameless butcheries of a battle and makes its way into history. A history without masters, a history crowded with frantic and autonomous events, a history below the level of power, and one that fell foul of the law. If the discourse of the broadsheet helps to open a path for crime to enter history, it is the function of judicial discourse as a genre to cut off that path by trapping crime in its specificity. If the discourse of the broadsheet helps to open a path for crime to enter history, it is the function of judicial discourse or as a genre to cut off that path by trapping crime in its specificity, thus reducing its range of specifications to a set, okay, narrowly uh, defined legalities, and by assimilating it to the existing order or of one of its negative determination, by assimilating it to the existing order of one of its negative determination. The ikrars, the legal term for confessing, ikrar, hmm. Dikras, a legal term because Persian was the law language of the court back then, of course, you know. So the ikrars, a legal term for confessing or acknowledgement of confessions or acknowledgement of guilt, that make up our text, are witness precisely to such a process of detaching an experience from its living context and setting it up as an empty positivity outside history. ओहो मेरे को क्रैम्प्स क्यों हो रहे हैं sorry. Such a process of detaching an experience from its living context and setting it up as an empty positivity outside history. Hmm. नहीं समझ में आया मुझे. It is a process intended to take out of these statements all that stand for empathy and pity, and leave nothing to show for their content except the dry bones of a debris, the den of a crime. Okay, let's read this paragraph again. The discourse of the broadsheet helps. Yeah, so this was the discourse of the judiciary. The judicial discourse tries to cut the path of crime from entering history by trapping crime into its specificity, by reducing its range specification to a set of narrowly defined legalities, and by assimilating it to the existing order as one of the negative determinations that make up our text are witness precisely of such a process of detaching the experience from its living context and setting it up as an empty positivity outside history. This process is intended to take out of these statements all that stands for empathy and pity and leave nothing to show for their content except the dry bones of a diaxis, the den of crime. How this process is put in operation by the discursive strategy. Okay. Yeah, how this process is put in operation. This is not. Bye. I didn't see your bye. Yeah. Yeah. Uh, However, what is not so straightforward, it's a disparity between the actual sequence of events and its representation in the document. Oh. What is not so straightforward is the disparity between the actual sequence of events and its. So the matrix of the will of the state could be made to penetrate, reorganize part by part, and eventually control the will of the subject population. As that is okay. The island is not post status is to assimilate the order of the depositions before us. Don't. Soul positive existence. Which dangerous soul of. नहीं समझ में आ रहा, नहीं समझ में आ रहा, नहीं पल्ले पड़ रहा। थोड़ा ध्यान लगाना होगा निशा, थोड़ा ध्यान से पढ़ना होगा। Hello, hi Jyoti. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah. मेरे को कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा मैं क्या पढ़ रही हूँ. I think I need to reread this paragraph. There are a few words that don't make sense to me. Masking or suppression of a gene by another gene. क्यों? 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 The outcome of this hypostasis. To assimilate the order of the. How are you? How are you? The outcome of this hypothesis to assimilate the order of the disposition before us. Depositions. The order of the depositions before us. To another order. Namely law and order. To select only one of all the possible relations that their content has to the expression and designate that relation. That particular connotation is the truth of the event or the classified as crime. Thus, privileged connotation that meets the polarity as is it, for instance, recording from concern to itself. As then the centurion body of the state to subsume the hammer of its head. Okay, I got it now. The particular will of the criminal is, according to Hegel, the sole positive existence with which the injury possesses. So, criminality and yet the so-called criminal sexuality of the male. Mm. This is so contrast to read these statements as an archive is to dignify them. In contrast to read these statements as an archive is to dignify them as a textual site for a struggle to reclaim the history and experience buried in the universal past. Struggle is nothing less than a constituent two kinds of politics, each of these the consequence of this appropriation has been to clip those perspectives that situated this incident within the life of a community where a multitude of anxieties and interventions endow it with its real historical content. Some of these perspectives could perhaps be restored if the stratagem for simulating these statements to the processes of the law were opposed by a writing that used them as a record of the way differently collectively, if unnecessary with the crisis. The practice belonged to that neither end of the colonial society where Yeah, so break. 5 minutes break. How are you? How are you doing? Tell me. What's going on? Ooh. Reconnecting it seems. Yeah, I'm like.